the valuations are less. And for their growth and expansion, and considering their future projections and the fund requirement for growth and expansion, we find that they have to at times dilute a large stake to raise the capital needed for them. So that need to be avoided. I mean, generally promoters should not dilute more than 49%, and at least they should have 51% stake with them, so that it infuses confidence among the investors also. And it is better to dilute the equity in stages rather than diluting it upfront. So I would say ideally, SME should not dilute. Minimum is 25% mandatory as per ICDR regulations and the norms laid down by the regulators. But upfront they should not dilute generally. More than 40%. So they should dilute only between 25 to 40% in the beginning. And as they grow, at different stages, they should dilute the equity rather than equity diluting maybe 70-80% upfront. And other very important things from preparing the IPO point of view is, all of us know that to get listed on the SME exchange, the SMEs have to appoint a full-time company secretary who will be a compliance officer from the regulators and exchange point of view. So locating a good company secretary, who has enough experience and who can guide the company through the processes is very important. And other very important thing is, any listed company requires 50% independent directors. So the company should look for people who can bring the value addition to the company and bring them as part of independent directors, and infuse 50% independent directors. And other very important thing we see is, from the age-old time of where we had a closed economy, people used to create large number of subsidiaries, large number of small companies. Rather than have a holding company and create a subsidiary structure, they used to have small companies, many of them. And many of them are held as proprietary companies. So whether proprietary companies or partnership companies, they have to convert them into private limited companies. And after that, they need to convert it into a public limited companies also. And particularly those who are having many companies, they should try to create a holding structure of the companies, so that they can put all companies together and create, which will give them better valuation and try to raise as much money as from the market. So it's very important that the SMEs need to come into a private limited company structure and then into public limited company structure. Then only it is possible to list on the SME exchange. And some of the very important things are, as part of IPO in India, our capital markets are disclosure based. And here detailed disclosure about everything has to be done, right from about the profile of the company to detailed disclosures on the promoters and the management, detailed disclosures about the business activity of the SME, detailed disclosure about the material contracts and the agreements the company has executed, detailed documents about the risk factors associated with the company, and detailed disclosures and documentation about external environment affecting the company. So this way, the company should try to detailed disclosures about the entire business, whether it is suppliers to raw material suppliers to buyers, to its own profile, business product lines, product details, promoters, even the human resources available with the company, the type of skilled, semi-skilled people that are available with the company. And also they should document about the past performance of the company. From the inception of the company, the performance of the company has to be there. And very important is for IPO, the accounts of the company should not be more than 6 months old. particularly those who are going to come with the IPO on our on BSE SME exchange soon. For them, March 2011 annual accounts will not be sufficient. They need accounts up to September 2011. Audited accounts should be. They should keep them ready. And not only audited annual reports, but very important for a company is going to list is peer review by reputed chartered accountant firms.